coaching, people were willing to spend a long time in therapy, and no one ever heard of coaching. So I decided that I was going to start my own program. And it evolved over the years to a program that is much more effective, much more to the point, actionable, and easy for people to work. It's actually an intuitive program, so that in 8 simple steps, all you have to do is follow the boundary law. Easier said than done, but it takes a little dedication and some commitment. Now, most people don't understand, but truthfully, it's based on the values that you hold. For instance, the people that really affected my life mostly were my grandmother, my mother, and my dad. They all taught me that self-development, spiritual awareness, and being able to provide a service to others was really important. And that's what I tried to do. I tried to share that with my 5 children, who is taking the video right now with me. Say hi to Erin. And Erin has 4 children, and her brother and sister have 1 each. So I tried to do the best I can to pay it forward, pass it on. So today, I'm going to take you through steps. Step number 1 is 50% of the program. How many people have heard that whenever you've been able to define the problem, how do you like my handy little 50% of being able to work through a problem is being able to define it. And I spend a lot of time in my coaching helping people work through what the problem is. And once they get a handle on that, it's a lot smoother. But what you want to do is are you taking notes here? Is as I go along, try to be thinking what the problem is that you would like to work on, or at least an area in your life. You want to be clear. You want to be specific. You want to make it measurable. For instance, I have a patient by the name of Juliet. Now, Juliet had 2 children, and she was constantly beating herself up because she thought she was a poor provider. The truth is that after coaching, she discovered that it was really about her self-esteem and not believing in herself. So we made a lot of progress there. And in being specific, she wrote, my problem is that I need to build my self-esteem. But at this point, she really said she wanted to be specific and understand that at this point, making it measurable for her meant on a scale of 1 to 10, that she was at a 3. So think about where you are, what the problem is for you, and where you are in trying to work with that problem, with 10 being the best or whatever. Juliet reflected on it honestly. It was pretty hard for her to work through those negative feelings. So try to see if you can't put your negative feelings aside and really get a grip on where this is coming from. And even if you have to do what Diana said, with the little, what do you call those? Yes. Even if you have to do that, do it. And what is the root of the problem? Again, if I had a patient by the name, actually a client, by the name of Paula. Now, Paula wanted to be a successful recording artist, but just one problem. She thought bad things would happen to her if she was successful. She came from a very strict Baptist family. Nothing against Baptists, can happen to anybody. Being negative can happen to anybody. But the truth is that she really had a lot of stuff to work through. And when, after some coaching, she discovered that the real problem was that she didn't believe in herself, that she felt that bad things would happen, that God would punish her. And if you think God's going to punish you, well then bad things will happen. So, moving ahead. I'd like you to look at what some sample problems are. And these are real problems from my practice. I feel anxious about managing my money. I'm afraid I will lose my job. I'm unable to grow in my job. I feel damaged after my divorce. My sex life intimacy with my partner is boring and lacking excitement. I need to feel loved. Okay? So I'd like you to write down, if you haven't already, take a minute. I'm going to give you a break here. Write down what the problem is that you would like to work on.
You know, it occurs to me when I look at this, it's not like I can't take a loan up to the commercial bank later that $1.5 million, or I can't find a building, or you know, I don't have the knowledge to go out and do that commercial loan or get into that business. These are different problems. These are of people holding themselves back. You know,
right, and that's a big part of it. Absolutely. So do the best you can, and I'll talk with you after. I'm at table 41. Okay, so moving ahead. Step 2. Define your intention. Include the root cause as stated in the problem that hopefully you've just written. Be assertive, don't hold back, don't try to be a nice gal and just kind of, you know, smooth it over. Put it out there. If you've got something you're dealing with, don't be afraid. Because fear is about the unknown, and what you're doing is you're homing in on the problem. You're making it clear so that you can deal with it. Be specific and measurable. Again, Juliet, when she was working on her self-esteem, she was at a 3. Well, Juliet was able to keep track of it, and after coaching, she had moved from a 3 to a 6 in 1 month. So she was keeping track of her progress and was able to really have a sense of fulfillment and how she was doing. Do a gut check. What is your intuition telling you? Juliet checked in with her intuition. She blocked out all the bad news that everybody was telling her, the bad negative messages she was sending to herself, and she said, you know what? This is really about me. This is about an inside job. So, does it resonate with me? Does it feel right? Is it comfortable? Does it make sense for me? So ask yourself these questions. And I'm going to give you a minute to write down an intention for yourself. Okay?